evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Week 4 high school preview show, Home Turf Sports Podcast. I'm Brian Hardy with my co-host Devin Hardy. And I guess we'll just go ahead and kick things off and jump right into it tonight. I'm going to let Devin lead the way with the games and just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, man. Welcome in, guys, back. Good week for both of us celebrating my birthday. We got some good week of high school football and some good week of college. This is likely some schools last week of non-region play, but some of the bigger area schools are actually starting region play. But we'll get right into it. Our local games and what we cover. North Myrtle Beach will be at Marlboro County. Sherrod will be on the road to River Bluff. McBee will be at Chesterfield. Central at Blacksburg. Our game of the week will be Hartsville at Dillon. Crushville at South Florence. Lugoff Elgin travels to West Florence. Wilson on the road to Lakewood. Lower Richland at Darlington. West Forsyth at Richmond. Scotland will be in a tight battle with at Pinecrest. In our college games that we choose with Cyclones at Missouri. Syracuse is at Clemson. My Falcons will be at the Panthers, which we'll be going to watch this Sunday. His Cowboys will be at the Bears. But we'll go ahead and make this a kind of a short one, long one. Last time we got sidetracked, but you'll be on tap for North Myrtle at Marlboro County. Marlboro County. What's your expectations of your last week of non-regional play before you get a bye to head into conference play?
I feel like this game could go one or two ways. Pretty much depends on the health of Trey Blakeney. If the coaches feel like that they may need to set him out for another half or most of the game just to make sure he's 100% before region play kicks off next week, that could lead to this being a tighter contest than most people on the outside looking in would think. I really thought Marlboro would be perfectly fine, without him last week against Conway, because Conway hadn't scored a touchdown all season, which they did get one off a block punt, but they still haven't scored an offensive touchdown. Just looking at that team, I don't know how that's possible, but they got some talent, it seems like, but just got to put it all together. But we get back on track with Marlboro. If Mr. Blakeney plays, I think that he could probably be out by the end of the third quarter. I think that they can build up enough lead, and the way their defense is playing, man, they're playing lights out. I don't really see this if they're at full capacity, full strength. I don't see this being much of a test. You never say never, but I think if Trey Blakeney plays, then Marlboro wins this game going away. But if he doesn't, it just depends on how much Cam Smith's grown up from last week. That was really his first start. First time getting his feet wet. He could come in this week and be 100% different ball player. He get the nerves and the jitters out. But I look for Trey to play. As much as need be, try to build a lead up, and then maybe get him out. Try to get the pressure off Cam, not having to go out there and start the game, and all eyes on him. I think he's much better at this point in time in coming in certain situations. And like I said, I really think that as long as Trey plays, our defense is really playing lights out right now. I really don't see this being much of a contest. Not saying that it's going to be a 30-point blowout, but I think Marlboro probably 17-point win if all hands on deck.
Yeah, I put up the Myrtle Beach schedule here. They are 2-2 on the year. They went on the road at Goose Creek in week 1 and won. They lost to Darlington 14-7. Beat West Brunswick 24-12 and lost a big one to Loris last week, should I say, by about 25 points. But I look for that. I look at that team right there. I mean, it's gonna be a tough one, man. Like you said, though, I'm with you on the Trey Blakeney. Hopefully he's back to 100%. I know last week they were still trying to nurse that injury and get him back to full strength. But I wonder if they maybe try to start the backup and see how far they can get without him. And maybe, like you said, next week, Marlboro's got a bye. that would put him at like maybe 2.5 weeks before he jumps right into region play. Because that's a tough conference they got. But I don't really know too much about North Myrtle Beach. I know they was decent last year. I ain't really sure about this year, but they probably gonna have a bunch of guys. They probably have 60 or 70 dressed out on the sideline, and they coming to Marlboro. If Trey plays, I do like Marlboro in this one. But if it's a game time decision and Cam plays, I feel like it can go last week. If everybody ain't locked in, ready to play at 7:30 when the fireworks go off and they run out, that it might could go either way. No, you can't have no mistakes. Coaches got to make the right calls. Special teams got to play special teams and do things the right way. And they can't have unnecessary flags like they had last week. Like you said, they had a few blocking the bags, so they had the interception. They ran back. They can't do dumb stuff like that, because even when you let teams that's less competitive than you play in the same yard as you, sometimes it might fall their way.
Yeah, you got to put teams away early. Like I said, if you know you're the better team, the worst thing you do is let the team hang around. It just builds their confidence, and they really think they got a shot to win. But I'm like you. I understand what you're saying about trying to start it back up, but I'm more, from what I seen last week, I'm more to the point where let's start Trey, get a lead, then get him out of there, instead of having to worry about fighting back from behind, because they almost waited too late. I mean, they put him in the last two series. The first series, he moved the ball well. Then we had a costly penalty, maybe a bad snap, but we got it done on the last drive. But you don't want to wait that late. Like I said, let's get him in, get up by a couple touchdowns, maybe 2-3 touchdowns, and get him out of there. And hopefully, he can go ahead and have his helmet and shoulder pads off by after halftime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna try to get right out of that game and move on. Try a little bit quick tonight, but so you going Marlboro County by
17.
By 17.
Got a little caveat. Put an asterisk beside that. Put W with Blake.
With 9. With 9 ball. What's his number?
7.
7.
Yeah.
With 7 ball. Man, I could see 17 if he plays. But, I mean, we don't got no inside information on if he plays or not. I know North Myrtle's probably going to have some type of athletes out there. I see Marlboro winning by at least 10 at home before they go on to a bye next week. So I put Marlboro, put both to cover. All right, we'll slide on over to Sherrod. We're going on the road to River Bluff. River Bluff is 2-2. Got a loss to Rock Hill and Nation Forward. Rock Hill 31-18, Nation Forward 20-17. Beat Brooklyn Casey 23-0, and beat Gilbert last week 14-7.
Well, I think Trial will be very competitive in this game. At River Bluff, I think that's going to be a tall task for them. Like I said, without either one of us really having much knowledge at all on River Bluff, we just know they're 5A school. They're 5A, Trial 2A, so they're probably going to have 70, 80 kids dressed out.
For sure.
I think that's going to be a tall test for Trial. I do think Trial keeps this game close throughout, but I think late in the fourth quarter, River Bluff just finally wears their offense down, and maybe get a bad snap, something like happened against Marlboro. I don't know. I think Trial is very competitive, keeps it very close. It's going to be hard to win down there. I'll take River Bluff 20-17.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Man, I'm looking over here at the running back, except if Max Preps is correct, saying he's averaging 133 yards a game on the ground. That must be one of their main guys.
That was a bugaboo for Trial against Marlboro. The running game, Marlboro rushed for right at 265 yards, I think it was, if I remember. So, Pool's going to have to pack the box again like he did Marlboro in the second half and make them beat you with the arm, the quarterback. I'm not saying you can't do it. I really think they're capable of doing it, but they're really going to have to play their A game and give their defense a break, let the offense keep the ball, and give their defense breathe on the sideline, because if you have a couple 3 and outs, that's where the numbers on the other side start showing, taking advantage of wearing your guys down.
Yeah, I actually went on the road with them last year. They played a 2-year non-conference at their place both years, but I went down there last year, man, with them, and it's an unreal sighting for a high school game. I mean, they probably got 250, 300 people in the student section with their shirts off on kickoff, and it's a crazy atmosphere. They had some good players last year. Not really sure what they had this year. This year they got, but I know they had a tall wide receiver that was going to East Carolina. It was pretty good. They ran. I think they ran 2 quarterbacks last year a little bit. They did have a good kicker. Not to be funny, they did have a good field goal kicker. He was hitting them from pretty far. But Sherrod's defense is definitely going to have to keep them in the game from this one. But I hope they can get the offense going a little bit tomorrow night. Last week was a little bit of struggle early on. They still ain't got the running back yet. But they're going to have to get that run game going early to see if they'd open them up for the pass. But the offense is going to have to have time of possession. Like, they're going to have to make some drives, go down the field a little bit, and give defense a rest, because the defense last year, they was out there a lot. I don't think this River Bluff team is as talented or out-talented Sherrod like last year. But River Bluff's probably going to win this game. I can see them win this game probably by 14. But long as Sherrod, I'd say as long as those guys play hard, and if they even in the game in the fourth quarter and it gets down to the wire, I think it's really a win in your book for playing against a team like that. And hey, credit to those guys for playing a tough non-conference schedule. I mean, even with playing the ones they're going to play, bigger schools. I mean, when you schedule these games earlier before the years, you can't say what that school's got, like, oh, they ain't that good. I mean, you don't know what athletes they got coming out to try out and this and that. But I'll probably take River Bluff in this game. And Sherrod's going to have this will be our last non-conference before they start playoffs next week. But yeah, that's really all I got in that game.
All right, let's move on to.
What was your pick?
I took River Bluff.
River Bluff.
Yeah, I think this will be a close game. I think actually River Bluff scores in the fourth quarter to actually take the lead. I think Charles had the lead early, but I think River Bluff eventually wears them down and wins out in the end.
But if I had to have an upset pick too of the week, that would be my upset. I'm scanning down this schedule. It won't be a shock if they won. If somehow they flip the script, got the offense going. But we'll slide on back towards this way. Mac B at Chesterfield. Mac B's looking for their first win, and I think Chesterfield will be looking for their third win. I'll let you take it over from there.
I think this is going to be short and sweet. I take the Rams. The Rams pretty big in this one. This is a county rivalry. I think Mac B plays with some fire early, but that don't last long. I think the Rams win big. This is probably at least a 24-point spread. I think 30 to 6.
Yes, Chesterfield is 3-1, so they'll be looking for their fourth win before they open up region play next week versus North Central. I'm going to take Chesterfield. I mean, I don't even know why it's really a predicament. Maybe hasn't really shown us why we should give them our vote yet. But, hey, all the pressure's on Chesterfield here. They haven't won a game. I mean, maybe hasn't won a game. It's going to be pressure on the Chesterfield guys that, hey, their coach is probably telling them, hey, we don't want this guy. We don't want this guy and his soldiers to come in here and get their first win. Put the pressure on somebody else. I mean, make those guys go to next week and put it on the other team for them to not take their a loss to Mac B, get them their first win. Yeah, I like Chesterfield in this one. I think their guys still riding high from these past few weeks in this little win streak they got. But I can see Chesterfield winning by, you said, what, 24?
Yep.
I can go I see them winning by 20 next week. We'll slide over to Central is at Blacksburg. I believe Blacksburg is 1-3, and Chesterfield is. Central is 4-0.
Give me the Eagles. Like I said, there's not much really to talk about this game. Central's playing really well right now. I think Blacksburg kind of just stumbling along. I think this is going to be probably this is going to be a big time blowout. I don't even look for this game to be close at all from the opening whistle.
Yeah, it was 49-7. Blacksburg lost to Union County last week. I ain't really too familiar about Union County, but you lose that bad.
You'll see a pretty similar score this week. I don't think it's I don't really think it's worth spending a whole lot of time on that. I think Eagles roll.
Eagles fly. Eagles fly.
Fly, Eagles fly.
I'll be on tap for this one tomorrow night. Should be a great game, great atmosphere. Be down at Hartsville, be on the road at Dillon at 7:30 in the White Walls. What we going with?
Man, I just got some breaking news on that game. I see where Dillon's quarterback just 7 minutes ago offered by Arizona State University.
So good as that guy.
They're starting to the offer's starting to come in for that kid. He's just a freshman. He's 14 years old. I don't even think he got his permit yet.
Nah, he's still ordering Happy Meals in the back seat with his window rolled up.
So let's get that out of the way. So that that could
shout out to that guy for real.
Yeah, that's big time. Arizona State, that's big time.
Especially for this area out west like that.
Yeah, I think he had BYU earlier.
Things got Tatum Tech too.
Yeah, so I'm going with Dillon. I think Hartsville can put up points. They've been scoring some points. They've just been giving up more than they're scoring. I think they're probably averaging 25, maybe 30 points a game. They're scoring points. Their defense just can't stop a nosebleed. I'm gonna go with Dillon, man, at home. If that's game at Hartsville, I'd probably go with Hartsville. But I think Dillon and Coach Roller, man, I like that guy a lot, man. He's a hell of a coach. That's why everybody complains about Dillon. Everybody says Dillon recruits, Dillon gets transferred. There's a reason those guys, they want to come play for that guy.
Offensive guru.
Yeah, he's an offensive genius. And like I said, I think he puts together a game plan. I see Kel Samfong. I see him putting up some big numbers again tomorrow night. I think he has to play the whole game, but I see him having similar numbers to probably that Sox State game.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on this one. From what we've been seeing, Hartsville can score points, but they give up a lot of points.
Let me ask you one question. Do you think Carolina Forest, which put up 55 on Hartsville, or Camden, I don't think either one of those guys have a receiver as good as A. Robinson.
No, they don't.
I'd be hard pressed to say either one of their quarterbacks is as good as Kel Fong. He's a freshman. So if you think they put up 55 apiece on that defense, you don't think two D1 a quarterback receiver going to come put up numbers?
Well, we could go a different way with that. What Wilson did last week? What they do against Wilson?
They put up 21 against a good defense, a good Wilson defense. A good defense, they put up 21.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like maybe Hartsville's offense can just.
I think they can probably score with them.
I feel like this is going to be a 40s, 50s point.
I think it's going to be a shootout. It probably be something similar to the Hartsville Carolina Forest. I see a 55-35 or maybe 45-38, something like that. It's going to be a shootout. I just don't think there's any way that defense in Hartsville slows down those guys, and that's just the two D1 guys. Their running back's a hell of a player too at Dillon.
Yeah.
I think they put up. I think you see some video game numbers tomorrow night in that football game.
I look for a lot of fireworks to be popped.
I do.
You better head on over to Sparky's.
Do they still got that Wildcat that growls every time they score a touchdown? They used to have a Wildcat when they score a touchdown.
I don't know. A lot of times we play in there, we never even heard it. Hey, if one of y'all was at the game, hey, save me a fish plate. Save me a fish plate. Please let me get one for y'all. Get all out there. I'll be on tap early. Maybe I can get me a fish plate before y'all get over there. Because I know when y'all get y'all's hands full, y'all can be on Facebook Live greasy hands and sweaty heads. But I'm gonna take a Hearts on this one, man. Try to split it up. I do thank Coach Rolo for allowing me to be out here tomorrow night. For inviting me down to Dillon to see what the Dillon atmosphere is like. So I'll be heading down Highway 9 to cover some Dillon Wildcats football, and I will be sending you game scores about the Red Foxes on top when you are at McAlpine Stadium watching Marlboro hopefully slide their way into the victory column again.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna need updates. I'm gonna keep my listeners posted on the updates. Like I said, I think that's gonna be a great game, and it's probably one that I would love to be at if if I wasn't calling the Marlboro game. I just got an update on my phone as well. I see Marlboro's JV beat North Myrtle Beach 28-6. So I think they're keeping it rolling.
JV going pretty good, ain't they?
Yeah, Marlboro's middle school JV, neither one of those have lost a game yet, and I don't really even think they either have played a close.
Probably could have beat Conway last week.
A really close game yet. Yeah, so yeah, those guys. It looks good, man. It looks good for the future of the program. So, kudos to that guy. Hats off to the JV team. Maybe they'll keep the ball rolling. Maybe we can get the same result tomorrow. That's about what I'm looking like from the varsity if Trey Blakeney plays something to that.
Yeah, sometimes you get your hopes up on the JV games. That maybe that team might not be that good, but you know how sometimes it is. People sometimes they get the hopes up and then get the feelings hurt. But sounds like that. I mean, that probably only be a close one in the end if Trey does get to play. But we'll jump over to our other game and get back into it. Crestwood will be on the road to South Florence in the Bruins den. Crestwood is 3-1. Wins over Manning, Richland Northeast, at Kingstree, and lost to Sumter, which is their hardest game they played by far. Last week was 28-0.
Yeah, that's a cross-town rivalry game. Both of those schools. Well, obviously Sumter's in Sumter, but Crestwood, that's a cross-town rivalry. With Lakewood. Neither one of those schools were actually schools when I was in high school. They used to have what was Hillcrest High School. They had Sumter and they had Hillcrest. That's a big area because of the Air Force Base and stuff down there. So they're expanding and they turned into Crestwood and and Lakewood. But Crestwood's been playing well, man. I've seen some highlights of those guys, and they got a really good team. But at the end of the day, I just don't think they have quite enough for South Florence. South Florence is really good. They lost that one game, but at the end of the day, South Florence has got a really, really good team, and I don't see them slowing down this week either. I think South Florence wins fairly easy. I don't think it'll be 28-0 like the Sumter game last week, but I think South wins by at least 2 scores.
I like this one, South Florence by 1,000. No, I don't think the defense that South Florence saw last week, they might not see again until they get into the playoffs. From when I'm looking at their schedule, I look for it to be a typical game that they played against West Florence on that first game of the year when those two squared off. But yeah, I like South Florence by a lot. I like them big in this one. Lugoff Elgin at West Florence. Lugoff Elgin is 3-1 and has wins over Low Richland, lost to Camden, beat Darlington pretty bad, and they beat Aiken last week 28-14.
That was West.
Yeah, Lugoff Elgin at West.
Man, this is gonna be a really good, a sneaky good matchup.
I'm saying, yeah.
I'm gonna go with West just because they're a local school and I really want to see them win. But this is gonna be a really good game. If we weren't doing Dillon Hartsford, this might be a really good, one of the games that would be a contender for the game of the week. I think this is a game that nobody's really talking about, but I think this game, when you go watch your highlights Friday night after everybody gets home from the games, I think when you see these, you're gonna say, man, that turned out that was a barn burner. I'm gonna roll with West. still think West Florence is a good team, and they play a tough schedule. Really tough schedule. I think West Florence has got a good team, and I'm gonna roll with the Knights tomorrow night, man. I think they got enough to pull this one off.
I'm gonna put my mask on, and I'm gonna take the Demons. I'm gonna take the Lugoff Elgin Demons. I took West Florence 2 times now, and got my feelings hurt twice. I hope Chad can change my mind. Hopefully he can do something to change my mind for going into region play next week. But Lugoff Elgin, they're 3-1. They score points. 30 points, 45 points, 35 points. They can put up points. It's if they can stop them or not. I like Lugoff Elgin in this one, maybe 14. Might be closer leading than that. And West is 1-3, so they probably they won last week. I think when they lost to, was it Wilson? They beat only when they got this against Marion, and I don't really think that ain't a good win. Not help you.
They lost to Myrtle 42-38.
Yeah,
they played some good teams, man. They lost to South, which was a tight game early. I think South pulled away fairly easily late, but they played a really tough schedule, man.
I credit these schools for playing these hard.
They're desperate. They're playing was desperate for a win going into region play next week. And like I said, we'll see where it leads. I mean, a win can catapult them going into region play, or a loss could it could derail going forward. So I think, like I said, I think it's gonna be a really good game. It's a really good matchup right here.
Yep, and you taking the Knights. I'm taking the Demons. We'll slide over back to Sumter area a little bit. Wilson Tigers will be on the road to Lakewood.
Man, I'm like you when you say about West Florence. I done got burnt too many times on the Tigers, man. I'm going.
That's the only Tigers I'm taking this week.
I'm going with Wilson, man.
Wilson got something going, man. I don't know if it's the new coach is trying to change the culture over there, or if those guys have actually bought in and seen that, hey, guys, we win a team. We need to keep this thing going. We don't want to lose. I mean, some of those seniors was a freshman and sophomore, and only had 1 or 2 wins going into last year when they was all juniors. So those guys have won more games this year than they won in their 3 years of high school.
Yeah, like I said, something changed. I mean, only one thing changed, the new coach. I mean, you got to give that guy credit. Wilson's playing good ball, man. They're gonna be tough. They're gonna be tough every week. They're gonna be very competitive. They're gonna make you beat them. They're not gonna beat themselves. And like I said, I learned my lesson. I'm going with Wilson this week. I look for their quarterback to have a big game running the ball. He's got a strong arm. Don't let that fool you, but he can really make things happen with his legs. I'm rolling with the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Wilson too. I look for them to cover whatever spread that y'all make spreads on high school games. I look for them to cover it. Lower Richmond be on the road to Darlington. I like Darlington in this one. I watched Darlington play last week when Sherrod went down there. It was a pretty good defensive battle, but I don't know how good Lower Richmond is. I seen they lost. Lower Richmond? They lost to Lugoff Elgin, beat them by 28-14. I can see Darlington's quarterback having a good night, especially running the ball and maybe through the air a little bit. So I look for Darlington to win this game pretty short-handedly, but with the quarterback just by himself.
Yeah, I think Darlington is. I think they're playing a little above their head. I think they're playing a little bit better than what I think they really are. I think they really do have a really good quarterback. I just don't know how good the pieces around him are. I think they do get another win this week. And like I said, as long as you're confident, I mean, a confident team can play. They can play much better than what their talent level is. Just as well as a very talented team can play, under what their talent level is. But I think HighSchool's playing really well, or the quarterback's playing really well, and they just matched up with a tough trial team last week. So I think Darlington finds a way this week. I mean, they got a really good defense. I mean, Terrell won, but it wasn't a runaway, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Darlington's got some good guys on that defense, up front and in the secondary.
Darlington's always got athletes, man. Like I said, going back to when I played, they had Brian Scott, you know, Orlando Hudson a couple years before him. I remember a guy named Travis Burns. Everybody talked about Brian Scott, but the guy Travis Burns on the other side was just as good. I mean, he went to Liberty. I won't say he was just as good as Brian, but he was a really good receiver as well. So
Darlington had about 5 or 6 years ago. They had a left-handed pitcher that went to Clemson.
Yeah, Darlington puts out talent, man. I think this year they just kind of.
Oh, speaking of this game too, I like Darlington big in this one. This is homecoming for Darlington.
Homecoming?
Yes, they've been partying all week downtown.
Ooh, that could be a detriment. When I was in school, man, the coaches hated homecoming games because your mind's on everything else but the football games.
I said they had a
back when I was
downtown party last night.
Back when I was in school, you know, I don't think they're really doing it anymore, but you actually escorted whoever, the girl or whatever, in homecoming. So
they still do that.
While everybody else was going to the locker room, you were lining up the damn walk down the track.
Yeah, they still do that.
To escort the girl.
Coach, I was out here. What's the adjustments?
Coach, yeah, you're not in the locker room for your halftime adjustment.
Especially if you're down now.
Yeah,
if you lose,
that's why coaches always want to schedule a lesser team on homecoming, because they just want to just be able to out talent you, because they know mentally nobody's in the stadium really.
Well, maybe that's what they're thinking when they schedule this one here. Yeah. They might know a little bit more than what we know, but hey,
could be.
Lowell Richland coach is probably telling his guys, "Hey guys, let's play 100%." They worry about something else.
That's right.
And let's hurt somebody's feeling on homecoming.
They are worried about where the after party's at.
I'm quite sure Darlington is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party over there after the game went on.
Yeah, it ain't stopping them.
No, I'm gonna go with the Falcons though, man.
Yeah. North Carolina school we covered. West Forsyth at Richmond County. What you thinking?
Man, I'm going West Forsyth.
Let's see what West Forsyth. I think they were
3-1.
I think they were 3-1 from a little service flag in here.
Yep. I'm going West Forsyth, man.
West Forsyth Titans. Football here. They are. That ain't good. It just told me that Matt B might win this week.
Yeah, you offline.
I think I'm going to go outside and check my signal.
Yeah, you offline. That's what it's saying.
I think I just got a missed call. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Power went out 2 times today. Forgot to pay the bill.
I'm telling you.
3-1. They were 3-1. They were ranked 12th in North Carolina right now.
That's why I'm telling you that my brother went to school there.
Beat somebody last week 50-20. Mount Tabor, whoever that is.
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking West Forsyth, man. I told you earlier before we went on air, West Forsyth's going to win this game. They're going to win by probably 2 scores.
Yeah, they beat Davie County 42-8. Lost to Grimsley, which is another 5A school, 31-17. Beat Porter Reeves last week, 45-14. 2 weeks ago, my mistake, and beat Mount Tabor 50-21. I could see where your head is at, what you think here. But I hope, I ain't want to take Richmond again, man. Richmond shafted me the other week when I picked them to beat Roseville, because I thought they were going to get their get back against them from the previous year in the playoffs. I don't want them hurting my feelings again right now. I might take too many losses this week, but I'll take the Richmond. I'll take the Richmond Raiders, man. I know they got good athletes up there. Hopefully they can get back their winning ways, because they was always a powerhouse back when he played, and even up to a few years ago. But they got a new coach, he's trying to change the course up there and get those guys' mindsets ready. But hey guys, we got a big team coming here tomorrow night. They come to our place. Let's get the fans what they want, and let's come out with a Raider dub. So I'm going to take the Raiders tomorrow night. Scotland will be in a crosstown, I haven't said crosstown, I say an up one rival at Pinecrest. The Pinecrest Patriots.
I'm going to go with Scotland. That's,
You ain't going to take the fighting Cody Smith Patriots?
Nah, I'm going to go with Scotland this week. I know Cody probably be calling. Give me a hard time here shortly or sending me a text for sure. I'm going to go with Scotland, man. I just don't know what kind of talent Pinecrest has. You know, usually when they're good, you're already hearing rumblings about this kid or that kid. I really haven't heard a whole lot. I mean, I know they're 3-1, but you know they're a quiet 3-1. A 3-1 nobody's really talking about. So they may fool me, but I'm gonna go with Scott's here and Coach Bailey. I know what he's got. You know, we see him locally here a lot. A Richard Bailey coach team is usually pretty disciplined, man, and they're gonna be where they need to be at on every play. You know, you might out-talent them at some point, but you know, usually they're pretty well coached, man. I'm gonna go with Scotland.
Well, I'm looking over here. Pinecrest is 3-1. Wins over Union Pines, which is a crosstown rival for them. They beat David County 2, beat Southview pretty bad, but they lost to Cleveland 60-19. If this was at that baseball field, I might take Pinecrest just because of how small their field is. But this ain't baseball. And there's pads going to be on tomorrow night. And there's going to be total leather. So give me the Zamir Whites, the Scotland Scots, to win this game on the road and make them Aberdeen fans mad. And only thing's going to be open for them to go not feel bad about themselves is the char bar or maybe Cheetahs. Yeah, I like Scotland this one. Scotland by 10. That'll do it for the high school coverage for this week. South Carolina will be on the road to Mizzou. This will be Battle of the Mayor's Cup. What you think about how South Carolina played last week? Me and you weren't there, so if we would have probably been there, we probably would have left early for what we seen.
Man, I think that game was just a precursor to a Marlboro game. Like, I think it's going to go, if Lenore's can play, that's that's how
his game time decision.
I just got to update my phone. He's now been upgraded to probable.
Well,
so
bad news for somebody.
That's why you see the point spread drop from 13.5 to 9.5. You know, just in a matter of hours, and it's probably going to continue to drop as well. These two teams always play a close game, man. For some reason, South Carolina just does not play great in Columbia, Missouri. Missouri's been a tough test
since they came into the SEC.
Ever since they came into the SEC for South Carolina, I think they're usually two pretty evenly matched teams.
And if you look at their thing, they don't got a bunch of 4 and 5 star guys. I was listening to the radio. Most of their 4 and 5 star guys that came in last year, they done transferred out. So their coach said he's tired of giving away the free money, NIL. So he went this year and got a bunch of 3 stars. Yeah, and he did the rest out the portal.
Yeah. They got a really good running back. But man, I just, for some reason, I don't think South Carolina's played to their potential yet. They're still waiting on that breakout game. If Lenore's plays, man, I really like the direction that offense was heading last week up until he got hurt. I mean, even when Luke came in, though, they really moved the ball pretty decent. We just had timely turnovers, bad timing. I mean, we had a couple fumbles. He got hit and he fumbled. We brought backup running back in. He fumbled. Luke did throw a late pick, which, I mean, it's late in the game there. But even when he was in the game, the offense still moved the ball decent. And I know, unless you've been on a rock, if you watched any of the highlights or anything, you probably seen a lot of people talk. The very first play he come in for Lenore's, South Carolina got the play off, actually, and he throws the perfect post route to Nick Harbor, and it's open green grass. There's nobody running that guy down from behind. and they blow the whistle dead 3 seconds after the ball snapped to review the targeting penalty on Lenore, which it ended up being targeting, and that's a good thing. But man, if Luke hits that ball, you don't know what kind of momentum that ties the game up at 14, and momentum is everything in college football, man.
Well, right before that, when they went down that second drive, he threw that pick inside the 20. And they scores there, it's 14-7.
Inside the 5, yeah. So our first 2 drives were almost
identical,
and what you expected to see from this team. I mean, Lenore did make a bad decision and throw that ball, but I mean, also on that play, the daggone nose tackle dropped back into coverage. I mean, that never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody expected that guy to be there on a slant.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's just a tough break, but I think our offense was showing signs of improvement. Against a pretty good Vandy team. Everybody sees Vanderbilt and they're like, man, how you losing them? But Vandy's a really good, I mean, I'm not saying really good. I don't think they're going to challenge for the SEC, but you know, they're going to upset some people, and Vandy's going to win probably 8 games this year, at least, maybe 9.
Do they sneak into the playoff?
No, definitely not. This is the week South Carolina turns the corner, man. If Lenore plays and he's healthy. If they let Lenore just be Lenore. I'm tired of them. They're trying to make him into a pocket passer, and which is good for his career going forward.
He did Cam Newton like that.
But it's not good for Shane Beamer trying to win ball games this year. You just let Lenore play free. If he wants to run, he even throws the ball much better when he's outside the pocket. So,
and for him to run, he's got to drop back.
South Carolina, I take South Carolina 27-21. This is going to be the week that their offense takes. It ain't gonna be a huge step, but it's gonna take a very visible step that you can notice step forward this week.
I hope that they can get the tight end game. They need to go into that game with the same scheme they had against Virginia Tech. That first drive they had against Virginia Tech, and they did everything. They ran the ball some. They hit their wide outs. They hit the tight end a couple times. And last week I seen Jordan Dingle play. Jordan Dingle needs to be in there getting more balls and snaps than what he's got, because he hasn't got any. But you saying South Carolina wins by what? You said 3?
I said 6. I said 27-21.
I look for this game last year was a close game. It went down to the wire with Luther Burden catching that one-handed touchdown and us coming back and driving on there with hardly no time on the clock, with I think like 20, 30 seconds. If the Norris plays, our defense plays good. I don't think we got Judge ain't back this week though, is he?
But no, he's doubtful.
He's doubtful. If South Carolina goes in there to Missouri, I think this is South Carolina's statement game for them. If they want to go, they want to make the playoffs. If they want to try to go 9-2 or 9-3 and sneak in there and hurt somebody's feelings, this week is the week they got to bounce back and say, hey guys, we just lost to Vanderbilt, which ain't a bad team like you said, but hey, this ain't the same Missouri team from last year. They don't got Luther Burden or Brady Cook. That's what I think that's what his name was. I look for, if South Carolina can go in there healthy with Lenore's, I look for them to cover that original 13-point spread. I can see them win this game by 13 points or more.
Well, they were getting 13, so I'm definitely going to take the 9.5 that we're getting right now.
But I'd take them beating Missouri by 13. I think they can do it.
I mean, people forget Missouri's starting quarterback went out the very first play of the very first game of the year. He's out for the season. So the guy
they on Brody Pearl or
what? Yeah, but the guy they're playing with now,
and their third string is out this week too. I seen that.
So the guy they're playing with now was originally the backup. Yeah, they said both of them were going to play.
That is right.
But you know, they haven't played the toughest schedule so far this season. So this is probably going to be their toughest test by far too, with the defense, South Carolina's defense.
Yeah, because they play UL Monroe and Central Arkansas or something like that.
So we're going to see. This game probably tells us a lot about both teams this week. I just think this might be the week that South Carolina's offense turns the corner and starts looking like the team that everybody thought they could be going into the season.
Yeah, hopefully they show us something different. I hope they open up the playbook and like you said, let Lenore's be Lenore's. But we'll move on from that game. Syracuse will travel to that team in the upstate. What we feel?
Man, as you know, I took Clemson last night.
I took who?
Yeah.
I took the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I took Clemson. They let me down. I don't like picking Clemson, man. But I did, and I was going with my head. supposedly, not my heart.
No, we both took. No, never mind. You took Clemson.
I did.
You took them 24-21. What was the score? Was that the score?
Yeah, opposite. They lost 24-21.
Was that the final score then?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was all over that one.
Wow. Interesting.
Syracuse is pretty good. Calvin McCord's pretty good quarterback. Man, sooner or later, Cade Klubnik's got to show up to the party, man. I mean, he's got to be the guy that everybody thought he was. I seen a stat today. I was looking at some stuff. I seen a stat today of Clemson's last 5 quarterbacks, which was Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson,
Taj Boyd.
I think Taj Boyd, Kelly Bryant. All those guys were leaps and bounds record-wise were like, I think the worst one might have been almost 20 games over 500. Cade Klubnik, the Heisman Trophy winner, is 15-11
against
with
teams with winning records, right?
Right.
Yeah, I seen that stat too.
15-11.
Yeah.
You take that for what it's worth.
That was everybody's Heisman.
This game's at Clemson.
Yeah, this game's at Clemson.
Clemson wins.
I know they're gonna win at home, man.
I hate to do it. They hurt me. Hurt my heart last week. I don't pick those guys much, but I mean I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to give you my legitimate opinion. You know, not going to classes.
I love going to get back in the win column for sure.
I mean, like I just said, Cade Klubnik has got to show up sooner or later.
Well, they got to get the running game going.
If not, yeah, you're right.
And the defense that they said pre-year, and all the Clemson fans been saying, I mean, I know it too, and you know it. They got a good defense. Their defense is legit, but they have some holes in their secondary that's banged up and injured. That defense and T.J. Parker and DeMarte Capehart, they ain't been playing up to full potential.
But you know what else? You can't. Your offense has got to help your defense. You can't leave the defense on the field the whole game.
No, you can't. They did that a lot.
Give up some stuff. Like I said, this has got to be Cade Klubnik's coming out party. If not, it might be time to start getting somebody else some reps.
Yeah.
Because Cade ain't gonna be there next year. If you fall, what are they? 1-2?
1-2. They ain't one of the ones last time they did 1-2.
If you go 1-3, we got to start getting our guy ready for next year.
Tyler from Spartanburg.
Yeah, he'll be calling Dabo.
Let's see who the backup quarterback is for Clemson.
I'm pretty sure it's a 4 or 5 star guy. I mean, they keep somebody in the chamber.
But I wonder if he's getting reps.
Maybe a practice. He ain't getting none in the game because they've been having to play Cade to the end, try to win ball games.
Trying to see if let's see what
But this game like this, when everybody's down on Clemson, is the type of game that gets his guys up and they win by 21 points, something like that. So don't be surprised if you look up this game's 34-17 or something like that. Clemson at home. What time is that game?
12 o'clock kick.
See, that's the only thing, man. It's early. Clemson loves those 12 o'clock games. They don't give the crowd time to get some juices flowing.
I was trying to see if what's his name is back this week. Antonio Williams.
He could be. I mean, Cade.
When Antonio Williams don't play, Clemson's winning percentage is like 35%. When he plays, it's like 60-something% for teams when he plays.
I'm gonna take Clemson, man. I think Clemson wins this game.
Oh,
fairly easily.
I'm sure they win this game. They just want me to pay for these ads. I ain't doing that. Especially not for that team. Yeah, I look for Clemson to win this one at least by 14 to 20 points. Syracuse ain't got Kyle McCord like they did last year. But I think if Dabo gets up too much, I think he does get the starters out because ain't he friends with their coach? Ain't Frank Brown the coach of Syracuse?
Yeah.
And Syracuse helped Clemson get into the ACC championship last year by beating, who was it? Was it Miami or somebody at Syracuse? It was an early game, like you said, early kick. So Dabo might repay him and not beat him too bad. But like you said too, Cade's got to change up something because I got a few Clemson friends and they starting to start scratching their head a little bit, man.
Yeah, they're not happy over there, man. Like I said, something's got to give. something got to give over there, man. I just think Cade's got to Cade's got to step up and be the Heisman Trophy candidate that everybody thought he was going to be before the season started. So I think Clemson gets back on the winning track this week.
Well, we'll slide into our last two. We'll go into our two NFL teams that we cover. Our teams, so we'll be in attendance. I like the Falcons. They'll be at the Panthers this week. We'll be there. Who you got in that one?
Man, I want to take the Panthers, man, but they haven't showed me enough to do anything. I'm going with the Falcons, man. I just think
I couldn't hear you. My headset was
Falcons.
Dirty Birds, baby. I like the Falcons in this one, even if I'm even picking like with being straightforward with you. I don't know what's going on with the Panthers, man. They got some good wideouts and a good rookie quarterback. I just don't know what's happened to the Panthers. Ever since Cam Newton left and they went to that Super Bowl, I mean, I bet you they ain't won 30 games. Have you?
Man, I'd be hard pressed to find 30.
God almighty. Yeah, I hope Drake London can have a big game this week, but I know J.C. Horner's going to be guarding, so if you own fantasy, I didn't put Drake London in my lineup this week. I don't know if you put him in yours, because that's going to be a close one. But I did take somebody with C.J. Sauce Gardner guarding, but your Cowboys will be on the road to Chicago Bears. I'm taking the Cowboys in this one, man. Cowboys had a good game last week. Dak had a good game. That one went down to the wire. And if you had either one of those quarterbacks on fantasy, I'm quite sure you won your league.
Yeah, I really think that the defense last week was an anomaly, because if you look the week prior to that when they played the Eagles, which is a much better offense than the Giants, I mean, they pretty much shut those guys down, especially in the second half.
They probably played down a little bit, Hey, it's the Giants. It's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's a conference game, so you know they'll see each other really well, and Giants found something that was working, they went with it. So kudos to those guys. But like you said, even both first two games, Dak's playing probably his best football he's played in a long time. I think CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is just a tough matchup for the Bears. I know their starting corner has been out, Jalen Johnson. I don't know if he's back. If not, it's going to be a long night for that defense. Cowboys defense coordinator was the Bears coach last year. So
I don't even know
if those guys.
I seen something where it said Caleb Williams. I don't even know if he's playing this week.
It's a blowout.
Yeah. I don't think they can call it Jet Cutler for this one.
No, this is a blowout.
So Cowboys by 20?
Yeah, this ain't the 85 Bears defense over here.
Mike Tirico?
Big refrigerator, William Perry. This is a blowout. Blowout in the NFL, man. It's 7. I think Dallas will win by 17 points.
I feel like if you beat another NFL team by 20 points, I feel like that's a blowout.
I think this game's 30-13, something like that. Dallas wins this game fairly easily. Dak puts up big numbers, and I think the running game been really well. I think George Pickens has his coming out party as a Cowboy this week. He has a really big day.
Well, if the Bears has number 21 that played the Giants last week, guarding either one of those guys, Dak probably throws for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 21 had a rough day, man.
Yeah, his jersey was on backwards.
Yeah.
And he was holding somebody else's jersey on backwards too, because he was getting a lot of these. He was getting cooked out there like a scrambled egg.
Yep.
But that's all our previews for the week, guys. Hey, I got an Instagram page made. We got to get some followers on it to go live. I hope you guys are still subscribing and tuning in to our lives. We look forward to coming on here and talking to you guys and being honest with you about teams that, even if we don't like the teams, we like to tell you guys what we truthfully feel and how we feel about it, and not just being funny. But we like to joke around and make this hour go by. But I'll be out at the Dillon game tomorrow night. Parks will be on the road there. Should be a great environment. He'll be on PDBSN with Chandler and the real deal, EJ Deal, calling that game against North Myrtle Beach Chiefs. But if you ain't got anything else, man, we'll get on